Hello, this is William McKissock with Schooley Mitchell, your expense reduction specialist. Word of warning, this is not my day job. This is Schooley Mitchell and myself's way of promoting other businesses and giving businesses a boost across the Tampa Bay area in Florida. And this morning, I have with me Suzanne Chambers with Roebuck Technologies. Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. It's really lovely to have you on the show. So let me tell the viewers a little bit about you, and then we'll get straight into some questions so you can explain more about your company. Suzanne is with Roebuck Technologies. It's an IT and support company that works with businesses throughout the Tampa Bay area. And also the company itself works across the USA, but Suzanne specializes in working with businesses here in the local area in Tampa Bay. So Suzanne, my first question is, tell me a little bit more about you in the IT world and your profession, and what brought you to this particular company, Roebuck Technologies?
Well, I've been in this industry now for over 30 years, so that absolutely dates me. Yes, I am old, but I got into this before Windows was a thing. So if you can believe that, I started off in my career selling software. And as the industry went on, we started selling hardware and then hardware, software, and services. And I really like small business. And Roebuck Technologies is a small business. I've worked for some very large businesses. And it seemed that it was always about the shareholders, not necessarily about the customers. So what I like about Roebuck is they're very customer centric. I can get the president on the phone in no time to make decisions. We don't have to sit around and wait. So I like the fact that we're a small business helping other small businesses.
You've already answered my next question. I was going to ask you how long you've been in information technology. Can you tell me a little bit more about that length of time? You mentioned you were doing this before Windows was a thing, and that ages us both. Can you tell me a little bit about those 30 years and what those experiences have been?
Yeah, sure. I started off with a company called Egghead Software back in the day, and we sold software to companies around Tampa Bay, such as Home Shopping Network, Raymond James, Boeing, Honeywell, places like that. And it was my first step into technology. So I found it amazing that this software could make lives so easy for people. What we were doing before with typewriters and everything else, we had Word Perfect at the time and all these fun titles. But that excited me. And then I started seeing how fast it was progressing. And I like change and I like challenge. So it was something that I constantly kept me on my toes, learning the technology. So that's kind of what made me excited about technology. And then, as the 80s and 90s, many companies were bought up. So it was very hard to stay with one company. You were with a company and then they were bought by another company and that company was bought. So it was tough, trying to stay with one company. But it did show me that the way I wanted to work was with smaller companies, not those big, large ones that you just became a number.
So about Roebuck Technologies, what does the company specialize in? Because you mentioned technologies there, so I want to ask you what this company in particular specializes in.
Sure. We help businesses make sense of their IT. Business owners should be focusing on what they are in business to do. They shouldn't have to be worrying about, is my laptop patched? What's happening with my network? Am I being hacked? They should focus on their business. Now, a lot of small businesses, and I'm talking companies with, 10 to 50 employees, they sometimes can't have an IT specialist on staff. They might have some people that know a little bit about IT, but they don't have that specialty. So when they bring on a company like Roebuck, we offer them not only, the peace of mind that they can go to sleep at night and not worry, because we'll patch their systems, we'll monitor them, we'll give them, a help desk option. And these companies now have access to over, 10 engineers that are there for them if they need it. So instead of hiring a person on when they're a growing business, they can focus on their specialty and then know that we're there to back them up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It kind of leads on to my next question, if you can elaborate a little bit further. So what makes and everything you've just told me makes Roebuck Technologies different from the competition?
So, okay, around the Tampa Bay area, there's a lot of people that work in IT. There's companies that maybe just have one person, and those are great for startup companies when you have, just a few people on staff. But that one person might have other customers. And if you go down, how long can you take? How long can you wait for somebody else? And going back to the previous statement, we have at least 10, maybe 15 at this point, engineers that we can call on. So when you're down, we're going to have someone out there. And then opposed to some of the larger companies that deal with enterprise companies, we don't think you're, second fiddle. We want to help we're going to be there for you. We're not going to say, well, we've got these large companies that we work with. Your business isn't important to us. Yeah. We're going to be there for you. And again, going back to that small business theme, we understand what's going on. And of course, you get an account manager like me, whether you have 10 users or, 300 users, you're going to have somebody there to be there, as the liaison between Roebuck and your business.
Clearly a great support mechanism to have in the background for clients. And obviously we like to help our clients as much as possible by bringing added value. So companies like yours are invaluable to us at Schooley Mitchell to be able to recommend to our clients as bringing a solid service. So what are the top issues with your clients that your clients are seeing today?
Cybersecurity is always top of mind to our clients. So many things have gone on this year. Besides cybersecurity, always being top of mind, of course, we went through, everybody had to work from home at the beginning, back in March. Gee, it seems like it was just yesterday. But we spent a lot of time, helping those clients get everyone set up at home safely and securely. That's the most important thing. People can take their laptops home and still have that same safe feeling that they did in the office. So many of the hackers today know that people are at home and they take advantage of the fact that they might not be covered by the same security. So that's been a big thing this year. Small businesses also, they have this mindset that we're small. We don't have any information that the hackers want. And that is so far from the truth. Small businesses are being, hacked all the time. You might not see it on the nightly news like it is when it's a large, like a Marriott or Target. And going back to Target, I wanted to make this point. Target was breached by a third-party vendor. Back in 2013, it was all over the news. Everyone's credit cards were hacked. And it was not it wasn't completely the fault of Target. Their AC company logged into their mainframe, their infrastructure to do some work, and they had been hacked. So the bad guys knew that as soon as they could get through to Target, they'd be able to steal all that information. So it happened from the third-party vendor, not necessarily Target. So small businesses are the stepping stone to get into big businesses. And how many small businesses do we know that do business with the likes of Boeing and not Honeywell anymore, but Lockheed Martin and things like that? So we make sure that our customers are able to pass those vetting processes so they can then work with large companies and know that they're safe. So that's been very big.
That is an extremely valuable point, that even if you're a small company, as Suzanne says, Roebuck Technologies is going to look after you just like they do a big company. But even small companies, they're going to work with bigger companies. And obviously the hackers are targeting those small companies as a gateway into the bigger companies. Mm-hmm. So that is fantastic. Thanks for sharing that part with me, because I didn't even think of that as like, well, that's how they got into Target. And being a customer of Target at the time, we were like, wow, have they got our credit card details? But it was through a small company. Really interesting. Well, if anything, that shows that Roebuck Technologies is completely on the ball. They know what they're doing. They know how to support small businesses and stop large businesses being hacked as well. they're just a fantastic company that operates in this area. If you want to get in touch with Roebuck Technologies and Suzanne, her details are underneath her in her portion of the video. Just reach out. She's a very friendly person, as you can see. She's not scary. Reach out, and Suzanne will be there to help you, as is the company. And I know a little bit about the company, being in the Tampa Bay area myself. Solid company, solid people, and then you get Suzanne to work with. So, Suzanne, thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It was great being here. Thanks, William.
I will now hand it over to Dave for the weather.